temperature tonight is actually going to be above freezing. We'll be down at 36 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Morning Star Baptist Church loves its family, its community, and its country, but most importantly, loves Jesus Christ. Hear their ministry Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WSIC.
Purple Heart Homes presents Putting the Pieces Back Together, a forum for veterans and the community to connect. Here are your hosts, veterans John Gallina and Brad Borders.
Wow, good day.
Good day.
I don't have my volume turned up.
I am now required to wear these headphones. Apparently, I keep blowing out the speakers.
Yeah, and your speaker on your phone is
I was wondering who
what
was
is
doing
going on.
that.
And Joe's making all kinds of gestures.
I'm driving the engineer crazy in a different way today.
He's gesticulating. Did you see that? That's a big word. I get a $5 bonus for using big words.
I thought it was a set of steak knives.
And a set of steak knives. Gesticulating.
That sounds like a word that would be used on Seinfeld.
It is.
It is.
That word could be construed into something naughty if you're not careful.
It could. And, the FCC is listening. I just want to put that out there.
It is true. Our brethren John Gallina is not with us today. Evidently, your voice is so loud it blew his eardrums out, and he had to go to the doctor.
You don't say.
No, I do say.
I actually injured his eardrums.
You actually literally gave him an infection in his ears and caused him to have a fever.
Wow.
And he went to the doctor.
You know, I have been accused of being loud before, but
yes,
I don't think that hearing damage was ever associated with me before.
Well, it was.
This is a new high for me.
Miss Tammy begs to differ.
I can't believe that hasn't happened before.
She begs to differ. Yes. Well, I remember the last show we did. You came on and you were so loud in the mic that my VA disability went from 80% to 90% just in one episode. I thank you for that.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Until they find out that it was associated with the radio show instead of the...
This is true.
Yeah. Of course, technically, I am a Marine, so... That's still military service connected.
It explains a lot. It explains a lot. You made a new video on the Tickety Talk Talks where you had like a Christmas video. It looked like where he was like welcoming people home and going, "Did you bring them? Did you bring them?"
I did. We could play that.
Was that Jason Keating?
It was Jason
Keating, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was it. It was on my phone. And I was like, that looks like Jason Keating bringing one Marine, another Marine bringing another Marine some crayons for Christmas.
He came in clutch. Nobody else was going to do
Snacks, if you will.
Snacks,
Snack.
yeah.
Well, hey, we're so glad everybody's listening. I know you don't have anything better to do with your life than listen to us, but
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes, and you can find out more about what we do for veterans each and every day at phhusa.org. And our guest today is an impromptu guest. We had a scheduling conflict today. Normally we have a veteran or a nonprofit that's doing work with veterans. But we have Ben from WSIC. That's News Talk Now, another $18 for me. Ben is with us today, and you just happened to be here.
Well, I was walking through the hallway here.
You're like, hey, man, hey, you.
I actually haven't even been able to use the restroom yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I literally just grabbed him. I was like, hey, Ben, you're our guest now. He's like,
Ben
what?
is also a broadcast professional, and we'll find out more about that. But Ben, I'll tell you what, let's just do this like we normally do it. Ben, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, sure. I think the reason that I'm here is because I am basically the general manager here in Statesville, but have the funky title of Senior Director of Sensory, which is what Justin, the owner, makes me say to people just so we can have this 5-minute conversation.
Right.
That I'm in charge of things that are what you can see, hear, feel,
right,
as far as it relates to WSIC.
I sense you, brother.
Yeah, well, I think I've been assaulting one of those sensories.
No, I told you how to use the restroom.
So,
But yeah, so that's why I'm in the building. But the reason that I'm on air with you guys today is because I did some work with a nonprofit in a previous job called Industries for the Blind.
You don't say.
And they do a ton of work for the men and women in uniform.
I'm so excited about you telling this story because that is really cool.
And there's one thing in particular that is very exciting to most of the folks attached to the military that they make there. What is that item?
Well, so.
Or do you want to
as an industry professional on the marketing side, we always heard that veterans called this particular piece of equipment the whoopee.
That's correct.
Now, when I told Devin this, he said, "I don't know what a whoopee is. You mean the poncho liner?"
No, my God!
Let's say grab your poncho liner, man. That's
you didn't call it a whoopee when you were in the Corps.
Really?
I did not. But I have talked to other Marines that did call it a whoopee, and I was surprised because I've had subsequent conversations.
No one has ever lined a poncho.
We called our poncho liner.
Of course you don't. It's your blanket. It's never lined a poncho. It is your blanket. So the the miracle thing about the whoopee, it is like if you go to a school like sapper school. You know what sapper school is?
I have a rough idea.
It's Ranger School for engineers, right? So it's like the elite level. It's a 2-month school. And you go out in your final FTX, and you can only pick certain items to take with you. It's a very austere environment. You're outside. It's in the field.
So it's like you're dropped on the island.
Number one pick. Number one thing, it's always held, and I think it's in Fort Leonard Wood, and it's never not cold there. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Yeah,
and
that's
the number one item selected by participants is the whoopee.
The whoopee.
I don't doubt that one bit. Marines love their poncho liner.
I've got one at home. I keep it on. Well, I had it on our bed for a long time till she took it off and put our bigger quilt on for the winter.
On the chair now.
I had one that I was going to bring home from the Marine Corps, but like the day before I got out, they had a gear inspection, and this other Marine, he didn't have one, and so I gave him my extra.
So he wouldn't get in trouble?
So he wouldn't get in trouble.
Right. So he wouldn't have to pay the military the $18 that they're probably going to bill him $500.
Probably going to be like, it's like you bill $7,000 for this amazing piece of canvas.
So I got to know, is it whoopee or
it's whoopee.
Is it poncho liner?
It is whoopee. It is absolutely whoopee. That's the official nomenclature.
We should have him sound off on digital.
You know what? That's true. Absolutely. Hey, so all of you out there who are watching on Facebook or social media later on, you need to put in the comments, is it whoopee or is it poncho
If we
liner?
had one of the ways of doing like a poll, if we had an online, we could do an online poll. Maybe the geniuses back at the home office, the corporate headquarters, can put together a poll. Is it a whoopee or is it a poncho liner?
It's a poncho
that could be cool.
It's a whoopee.
It is absolutely a whoopee.
I think it's a whoopee, and we've got a whoopee video we'll show on digital during the break.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
If you're hanging around on Facebook, we've got this really cool video, and Ben's gonna tell us a little bit more about that. So we got a couple minutes before break. Ben, tell us about your experience on radio, because I want to get into the whoopee stuff after the break.
Yeah. So radio, I went to Appalachian State.
That's right.
Did WASU, had a morning show on a country station up there, and then came back home to Winston-Salem area. Was doing 107.5, Rock 92, 93.1 The Wolf, and then worked
The Wolf?
The Wolf,
Nice.
and 106.9 The Light in Asheville. So that's the radio stints, and now I'm at WSIC helping my best buddy Justin.
That is fantastic.
So
and
a few
the
stations.
Director of Sensory Applications, is that what it is?
Senior Director of Sensory. So now I don't have to talk anymore, just have a good time with folks like you.
And we're going to have to hear a little bit more about that after the break. You've been listening, Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes.
Yeah, we'll see you here in just a few minutes. Thanks to our sponsors, by the way.
My Caddyshack gopher dance.
All right, you're back live on social.
What's up with the Andes mints?
Which
Oh,
which
yeah,
video?
yeah. It's,
What is that?
Andy's,
Is
I
this
just
like
saw
I thought it was like
yeah.
Thank you.
the at work version of doing a shot.
Well, yeah, it basically is. Although I do understand that there is not an FCC regulation that says that we can't drink on air.
You have
No,
to
you
announce
just have
it.
to announce it.
You have to disclose it.
Yeah.
You have to
no
disclose.
kidding.
That's all you have to do
Wait,
is disclose
are
it.
you
We're
serious?
currently imbibing spirituous beverages on the air.
There was a show. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago where they were drinking wine?
Yeah.
Yell
really?
show?
Dr. L show. Yeah.
Yeah.
The L show.
Really?
That's awesome.
Dr.
All right.
Eastman.
Yeah.
So
you
if
just
you're,
got to tell
if
people
you're watching
drinking.
on Facebook Live and you want to bring down a delicious bottle of
Bro, we will get people at the back door. A
God.
sixer,
Well.
a sixer will be dropped off before you can finish your sentence. This is
absolutely.
Statesville. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
that's true. That's
I can't imagine anybody would want to see this crew under the influence after what they experience on a weekly basis.
you know, I've messed up
That
one
could
time
be a train wreck.
and said a word, and I'm pretty sure
Wait, back up. One time.
one time just
No,
On
sir.
air. On air.
No, sir.
on air.
One time
One
on
time
air.
on
No,
air.
sir. You said IUD instead of IED.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
that was
Okay. Well, that's
You
that
did.
was pretty choice. Joe wasn't here.
Yeah, you did. You said Gotta watch out for them IUDs.
They'll jump up, bro.
that's
They
not
will jump
exactly
up.
what I
Are
was
you
referring
kidding?
to about flubbing up a word.
that came up in that actually came up in Theology Thursday today,
Did it
and
really?
Andy Sapala said, "I'm not sure he's ever seen either." Outstanding.
1 minute.
Oh my gosh! Oh, we didn't get the thing.
Yeah, we got
playing.
2 other
Oh,
breaks.
we do got 2 other breaks.
Oh,
We'll play.
Cheryl up at work says, "Even I know it's a whoopee." See, Cheryl, thank you for chiming
Another
in.
Marine that so I
Her
have a good
husband's in
Marine
the Navy.
friend,
It doesn't count.
and he said it was a whoopee.
So
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe
We have him
Ben,
call in.
did
I
you
don't
even,
know.
were you even in the Marines?
30 seconds.
I want a
biggest fraud
DD-214.
You know, I tried to call my old buddy that just retired as a master sergeant to be our guest today, but
he said he saw your name, he picked up the phone and went, no, I don't think so. Yeah.
honestly, I would be a little afraid of what would come out of his
15
mouth.
seconds. 15 seconds.
All right. We're going back live if you're on
Oh,
Facebook.
oh yeah.
You know, we're always going to be live on Facebook, but we're going back live on the radio.
Oh, live back on the radio. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
All right, mics are off. Here we go.
WSIC.
It's Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes. And our guest today is Ben Daniels.
Ben Daniels.
Hello,
The
hello.
crowd went wild.
That's all they had.
Every time a
Yeah.
bell
And
rings,
then it was
a radio guy gets a microphone.
Oh, I was hoping that a Marine got a whoopee. I didn't.
That's awesome.
At least we got you calling it the right thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence.
We had a course correction during the break. That's fantastic. That's so good. Yeah, speaking of whoopies, Ben is here. Ben works at WSIC. He is the Minister of Sensory Applications. Isn't that what it's called?
Yep, 100%.
All right, 100%.
Minister.
He's a minister.
Yeah.
He's the Right Reverend of Sensory Applications.
The Right Reverend.
The uptight Right Reverend of
How many
Sensory
more,
Applications. I could keep, just
yeah,
don't
I
stop
just-
me. I could keep going.
Please.
Right, yeah. But Ben, Ben is our guest today, and he's here. He's going to tell us a little bit about a really cool initiative over in Winston-Salem, founded by a veteran, right? And so tell us about that, and it has to do with whoobies. Oh, we got a caller on the line. Let's do it. Let's take the call. Why not?
Yeah, I'll talk later.
I'm always weary.
It could be somebody voting. Hey, caller, welcome to the
do it
show.
right now. What? This is a programming change that occurred.
This is
I get a
Justin.
text message. I run through the house to turn on the radio. And what is going on right now?
Well, we are having a live radio show, sir.
There's complete upheavalry happening at Studio A right now. If you allow Ben Daniels into the studio,
Yeah, it is. It's bedlam in
It's
here.
all right. It's all right, son. Just turn on the radio. I got it up here.
Yeah, he's got it.
Daddy's got it.
Oh my
He's the,
gosh.
I've renamed him as the Minister of Sensory Applications.
That's right.
From the Enchanted Forest.
Sorry, you're gonna have to get them all new cards printed. And it's gonna be a thing.
How are you today, boss man?
I'm doing all right, recovering. Got the bug the other day, so I've been on a recovery route. But grateful for you guys. Grateful for all you do. I'm actually I'm tickled to death now that I get to listen to Ben Daniels with you guys on the radio.
Yeah, this is a good man.
That's awesome.
40 minutes or 39 minutes and 50 seconds, whatever's left on the clock there.
He's a legend, man. He's
Now,
a legend.
Before we get too far, is it true or not true that Brad gets $18 every time he says WSIC News Talk now?
His tax returns are coming out.
That's
soon.
right.
You'll see 'em.
We have a very strong sales program that allows for that.
It's in my
here at
contract.
Barber, as long as that's how we do things.
Oh, okay. See? Told you. It's for real, man. $18 every time.
Man, wow! I don't know how you get in on
I'm
this.
just going to
It's
slip in News Talk Now every time I can.
You're going to make him go broke.
Come back for the calendars. Q1 2024. That's when we'll have those ready.
That's okay. That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Hey, thank you, boss man, for calling in. We'll take care of Ben and make sure he does a great job.
Thanks. We appreciate y'all.
Hey, thank
you too, brother.
All right, bye.
That was awesome.
That
Hey,
was
that's
awesome.
our first caller in a long time.
Well, that's what happens when you bring me on.
That's
No,
right.
that's true. Wow,
You're
we're
so
gonna have you on
popular.
there.
Phones
Wow.
light
It's
up.
so good, Ben. You come back anytime.
And we're up to 8 people viewing us on Facebook just
Well,
because of you.
Wow, that's a
Impressive.
semi-record.
I mean, I don't want to brag,
but I'm gonna.
but here we are, and there's a microphone in front of my face.
That's right.
Oh my
Here we go.
gosh.
All right. Well, Ben, tell us a little bit about what's going on over in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, so I used to work for a company called Industries for the Blind. IFB Solutions was the name of the company, and it is the world's largest employer of people who are blind or visually impaired.
Wow.
And they were servicing, they were building, I guess it's a textile company, and they would make things like the Whoopee. They would make things back in the day, the parachutes, the flyers kit bags, the I-wall, E-wall. They at one time had 3 locations. Now it's Asheville, North Carolina, and Winston-Salem. But the things that they're doing for people who are blind or visually impaired, but also for veterans, was something that always struck a chord for me, and it was a thing that a mission that I was very close to, because it's a mission that you can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
When you can employ a segment of the population that is at a severe disadvantage, but you're also doing things to protect our country, that's a win-win.
That's amazing, and it just shows that everybody has a place. You just got to find what it is in this world, and there's all those folks out there that may not fit in society's standards of what we should look and feel and act like, but still have value. And I really think that's amazing that they took those folks that clearly can do a job and found a way for them to adapt and make something that's loved by every military member. I don't know anybody that doesn't love their poncho liner.
Whoopee. Lord have mercy.
And that's the cool thing about that company is that, a person who is blind or visually impaired, you might think of a blind person just has, the cane or the glasses. That's your indicator. But there are all different types of that. You can be legally blind because you have, an impairment to your eye. But you still have a lot of function, and there are people who are totally blind in that facility, in both facilities, that make some very technical motions in their sewing motions and in the daily activities that they do, and it is line work in that the next person is doing a job to complete that task, but it really goes back to kind of like being in the military. Everybody has a job to get a task done, and that is so fulfilling for people that work there.
Do they have is the equipment specialized?
Yeah, so each person that comes in has an assessment that is done for them to see what their capabilities are. Yeah. And so some people might have a little more disability than others, and that's fine. There are products like the Skillcraft line of office supplies, for example, where they're making pens or they're putting together scissors from Skillcraft, which you would have seen if you were in one of the base supply centers, because those products that are made by companies that are under the Ability One Act, those are made by people who are blind or visually impaired as well. And so you have, beginner type things, and then you have all the way up to sewers and lead men, and, they are very fond of upward mobility of a person who is blind or visually impaired so that they can have a fulfilling life too.
So they can actually get promoted and have a career there just like anyone else out in this regular job.
Absolutely, and they have a lot of supplemental things. It's okay. We all struggle sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I'm not doing the best over here, but they.
Just like a real person.
Yes, they are a real boy. No. So they upward mobility, and they have a lot of supplemental things there. Food on site where they don't have to go leave at lunch. Like you and I, we can get in our car. We can go grab lunch at Hardee's or whatever. Not that but they can't always
Not
do
that I
that
should.
there. Not that you should. You'll pay later. So, so that they can stay there. They can have the things that they need. There's access to medical care. There's access to support groups, and it's just an organization that cares about veterans, cares about people with disabilities.
How long has it been around?
I wish you wouldn't have asked that. It's been over a year since I worked there, but so
Long
I can find
time.
out. I found out.
It
all
goes
right?
back
I'm not
a
gonna-
ways.
Yes, it does go back a ways.
Yeah, because I know the Skillcraft pen, right? Everybody in the military has had one of those in their pocket, and you've signed documents with those things. And I always knew that those were they were like, hey, these are the these pens come from the blind people make these pens.
Sure.
We're like, really?
I had no idea that. I just used a pen.
There is a ton of stuff in the military that was made by that, and I just never had the connection before. And I certainly did not know the beloved piece of equipment known as the Whoopee.
The poncho
was
liner.
Made in Asheville, North Carolina.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So,
And you can always tell because on those, if you still have those products, I don't know if you're like Devin and you didn't get to take them, but if you did get to take them, you can look on the tag inside and it'll show which blind agency made that garment.
Oh, no kidding.
Cool.
As a Marine, I couldn't read, so I
Well, you
never
can clap
did
out
that,
the
so-
letters.
That's right. Yeah.
WSIC.
I am reading the comments on our
Paul
social
Cochran,
media.
of course, he
Have I said
said
anything
poncho
incorrectly?
liner.
Paul Cochran said, so the Marines call it by their correct name of poncho liner.
Yeah. So I'm going to
There's
tell
the
you,
Marines that call it a whoopee. You call right now.
we are
They call it a
going.
crayon.
Yeah, please call in. Please call in and correct this madness of this poncho liner nonsense when we're talking about a piece of equipment that is called the Whoopee, that is the most coveted thing within the military.
It really truly is, and made by a great, unique set of people that are just trying to fulfill their everyday lives. And,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So when we go to break, what we're going to do, we're going to show a quick commercial, and if you're listening, on your home, on your radio, or in your car or something, you want to see this, you can go back to our the WSIC News Talk Now Facebook page.
and our very own Ben Daniels made this commercial, so
That's
that makes
right.
it
You're
even
so talented.
a little bit
what
more special.
What an incredible
Yeah,
person you
yeah.
are. Yeah, you're not only handsome, but you're extremely talented too. So you're quite well.
He's married, Brad.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Just checking.
Thought I'd put that out there. It's
Yeah. So we're going to come back with the poncho liner Whoopee debate after the commercial. But during the commercial, if you're hanging around on Facebook, watch this. It's going to be really cool. You're listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes on WSIC News Talk Now.
Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Mics are on.
You playing it?
Yeah, you want me to play it right now or
Yeah,
wait?
yeah, we can play it on digital.
All right, here we go. We're switching over and playing it.
Oh, dude, that's
Veteran stories are American stories, and being able to own a piece of gear that soldiers use to keep warm and to stay safe while they slept is, I think that's a really neat thing for anybody to own. My name is Brent Patterson, and I served in the 25th Infantry Division in Iraq in 2008.
For decades, soldiers have fallen in love with the revered comfort of their U.S. military-issued poncho liner.
You spend a lot of time trying to make whatever living space you have while you're deployed a little bit more hospitable.
The authentic Whoopee, featuring the extremely lightweight ClimaShield thermal insulation rated at 40 degrees, water repellent, and high-performing in the toughest conditions.
In 2013, I backpacked across North Carolina, did the entire state, and I had my Whoopee with me. As I was preparing for this trip, I knew I didn't want to leave home without that.
Manufactured by Winston-Salem Industries for the Blind, all components are made in the United States and meet exact U.S. military specs. You can now own an iconic piece of military history.
Veteran stories are American stories.
Can you give us that voice live on air?
What was I even saying?
I think we need to replay the video, but just have you talk over it.
So that would be great. So that's my voiceover voice.
Let me hear it again. Do the voiceover voice.
I don't even remember what I said.
Hi,
Can you replay what it says now?
Hi, I'm Ben Daniels, and this is
With the revered comfort of their U.S. military-issued poncho liner.
Oh yeah,
U.S. military approved poncho liner.
issued.
Issued.
Yeah,
See,
issued.
I was never good. Joe's
got
got me
issued.
voiceover.
Yeah, issued.
So, and we can say this on air too, but so a few years ago, Industries for the Blind, they acquired an established Amazon business called Pinnacle Mercantile. Oh, wow. And so they were able to put a lot of these products
On Amazon.
Including the Whoopee. So they were able
I
to.
think maybe
1936.
Yes.
1936. It's been around.
They started making brooms.
Oh, I thought that's
and
how much they
were
cost. I was
kinda
going to buy
hand in
one right
hand
now.
with Goodwill in Winston, and then they separated it out. Yeah.
Wow. 1936.
That's what it
That
says.
has been around a minute.
1936 for the blind in a 2-room shop with 6 blind workers.
Wow.
Making
But we don't know. Do we know how many
Did
employees
the
they got
Lions
now?
Club happen to sell those brooms?
they got
2 minutes.
the Lions Club. I think might have back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yes,
how
the
many
Lion Club
employees there
did
are
make
now.
brooms. I remember that.
What, no,
But I think they got them
From them.
From them. Yeah.
yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Remember the
Wow.
brooms that had
Putting a lot
Lions
of
Club on 'em?
connections
Oh,
now
yeah.
now together, just like
And they did.
we're putting the pieces.
They did mattresses a lot. So if folks were in the Navy, like a lot of the mattresses were made in Winston Salem. They had an optical lab for a while where they were providing people who were blind were making glasses for
Were
veterans.
they
So
making
cool.
the
At the VA when you
birth
would go get
control?
you-
That
Were they making the birth
explains
control
why
goggles?
They were making
they
that.
look so bad.
You know,
It was an actual good lab, and so you could get good glasses.
oh,
That
okay.
was the
I'm gonna
advantage.
bring. I found my birth control goggles.
I've
found
found them
them.
somewhere. The BCs. oh,
I've
yeah.
got mine. I have mine. I'm gonna bring them in and wear them the whole show one day.
No.
You should.
No.
Do you wear contacts right now?
I do.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's a,
Yeah. No.
I without my contacts,
1 minute.
I could legally
1
work
minute.
in that
I
shop.
could too.
It's,
I could too. I can't see a thing.
I could not have driven to the
Well,
studio
I couldn't
today.
either. Yeah, I'm not allowed. Yeah. Legally,
yeah.
corrected vision.
I'm not even sure if I could walk back, and it's like a quarter mile. I think that's the only reason.
What are
I'm on the show.
your what's your prescription? Minus what?
It's minus 4.5 on both eyes.
Me too.
No kidding.
We're brothers.
Oh,
wow. You are
brother's got
blind.
a-
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I also have astigmatism
30
in both eyes,
seconds.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, stigmata.
I don't know what that means exactly.
That
but,
means something bad.
yeah.
I got terrible astigmatism.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, I do know what it means. It's misshapen.
Football eyes.
Yeah, football eyes. Yeah.
Football eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I pretend
Instead
not
of
to
a
know
circle, it
things that I
looks
know.
like a football
Oh,
circle.
I was gonna say I got it from
10
playing
seconds.
football. Yeah.
at dignitymemorial.com.
Putting the Pieces Back Together continues now. Here are your hosts, John Gallina and Brad Borders on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together. Devin and I was like, we were all pointing at each other. It's going to be you. It's my turn to talk.
You, me. It was like that night at the Roxbury.
It was, yeah. You, me, you, me, you. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Yeah, we're glad you're listening today. It's a beautiful day. This is Putting the Pieces Back Together. John is out today. Unfortunately, he is sick, and Devin caused his sickness by talking too loud and blew his eardrums out. And he's got a fever now.
Still part of his suspension.
No, it is not. You caused this. It is your fault. I'm standing on that ground firmly, right? Standing with my whoopee in hand.
So this is not part of his suspension.
No, it's not part of his suspension. He was due back today, but you blew his ears out.
Well,
so, John, we hope you feel better, buddy.
I apologize, John. Yes, we do hope you feel better.
Yeah, man. God bless you.
It looks like we got a caller on the line.
Okay. This is our second call for today. All right. Hey, caller, go ahead. Welcome to Putting the Pieces Back Together.
Oh, hey, this is Hope. I want to weigh in on the Whoopee poncho liner thing.
Please.
For now, I have to call it a poncho liner right now because I don't think you really described why it's called a Whoopee. So for me right now, poncho liner is more dignified because it sounds like the anti-wedgie right now.
That's a great question. Wow.
Thank you, Hope. We appreciate that.
That's wedgie's a nicer way to say what a wedgie is, but I need to know why Whoopie's nicer than poncho liner.
Well, it's really not about what's nicer. It's about what's correct.
What is it? Yeah, but what is it and what does it do? I don't think you guys have said that yet.
Okay, so
a poncho liner, you can imagine. You can't imagine a whoopee. You can throw some things at that.
Well,
and be incorrect.
That's a great question. That's a brilliant question. That's a brilliant question. So we must clarify, and clarify we shall.
And the thing is about that poncho liner, it is almost never used to line the poncho.
No, it's never been used to line a poncho.
I don't think
ever.
Not
ever.
I'll take my answer off the air, you guys. I'll take my answer off the air.
All right, you got it. Thanks for calling. That was a great, best call we've ever had. That was a great call. All right, so let's just put to rest the whole Whoopee poncho liner debate.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know that we can because as I told you, I worked in the marketing department of IFB Solutions, and
the marketing department. So you made this up.
No, yes. So we are the ones that created the Whoopee. No, I'm kidding. So apparently in military lore, it was just someone named it the Whoopee as kind of like a child. What a child would say.
Exactly what it
like
is.
a blanket.
It's like your blankie.
Like it's your Whoopee.
It's all bring my
Mr. Mom.
Whoopee to me. Yeah.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, they called it, the little kid
That
called it
does
his
make sense
Whoopee
why the
and Mr.
Army-
Mom.
Oh,
They adopted
Mr.
it in
Mom.
1983, according to
Look at
the
you.
internets.
Look at you.
Well,
I'm
and
Tammy.
everything-
I look stuff up on the internet.
And the Army is like a bunch of children, so they still call it the Whoopee.
Yes.
And the Marines
Exactly.
are grown-ups, and they call
Well,
it a
now you
poncho
have
liner
stretched it
by
way
their
too far.
proper
Way too
name.
far.
So, and to explain, to explain exactly what it is, because you're right, it's radio. They can't see these products unless you go on Amazon, search Pinnacle Mercantile Whoopee.
Give
and
us
you'll
the
find it.
dimensions of a Whoopee.
So I think it's like 93 inches by 54 or
It's
something.
91.5 by.
Are you looking? It's something like
It's
that.
big enough to wrap yourself
It
up
is-
in like a Tootsie Roll.
All it is a blanket.
It's
and
a
it
blanket.
is a light blanket.
So
It's
soft.
For it goes down to about 40 degrees. You're
Comforting.
still comfortable.
Oh, it's lovely.
Very lightweight and perfect for camping, honestly.
Oh, it really is. It's
obviously,
amazing.
Let me tell you
that's
when the
why you
Whoopee
have it
comes
out in
out.
the
It's
field.
I'll tell
water
you
resistant.
the ones they sell are water resistant. The ones you got issued,
Oh, yeah,
the
they
ones
would-
I got issued, just like a sponge, soak up the water. But let me tell you the perfect example. Oh, there it is. If you're on Facebook, you can see it. 91.5 inches by 65.5 inches, right?
Yeah.
And you can wrap up in it. But let me tell you the perfect time to use a Whoopee.
Okay.
All right. In the field environment, it's below 30 degrees. You're up early, and there's a fire.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a fire going. And what's on the fire? What's happening first thing in the morning? What's cooking? There's coffee. There's coffee cooking in a canteen cup, right? In a canteen cup. It's all dirty because nobody sterilizes or cleans anything. You got the canteen cup on the fire, and the Whoopee is around your shoulders and over your head, and you're huddled underneath it right by the fire, waiting on your coffee to be done in the canteen cup. It is. There's nothing better in the whole world than that. Right there.
Now that's Chap's description because Chap was a chaplain, and
I was.
See what's really going on is the Marine who's on fire watch has got it draped over his shoulders while his teeth are chattering. So
but you know what Chap's doing? Chap's getting coffee ready for him.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's going to bring him some coffee in his foxhole. That's what's going to happen.
I wish you had been my Chap. And also, we didn't have foxholes in the Marine Corps.
What'd you call them? Fighting positions?
Fighting holes.
Fighting holes. Whatever.
Yeah, fighting holes or fighting position, but fighting hole usually because I'm not a foxhole nimbly bimbly jumping around.
What were you? Nimbly bimbly?
Yeah,
is that a word?
Nimbly bimbly.
If you're nimbly bimbly, you better have a whoopee.
And that is exactly why y'all call it that.
That's exactly what it is. I was at a field exercise one time, and I had some buddies of mine. They were doing. I got out there. It was really cold, and they were all had their poncho liners around them. And I had ridden my motorcycle out there, and they decided a really good idea would be to shoot a flare at me. From their particular position, which was elevated above where I parked my motorcycle. And I get off my motorcycle and I see 3 poncho-lined individuals at the top of this little hill and a flare coming straight at my forehead.
Did it catch the whoopee on fire?
No, it did not. But it didn't hit me in the face either, which was lovely.
Actually, I don't know if you watched the video. It did say flame resistant.
Yeah, flame resistant. Flame resistant.
Yeah, but bro,
they will burn, I assure you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Flare come to you, baby.
Yeah, this friend of mine, this drill sergeant that was out there, his name was Philly, and Philly was like 6'6", and he weighed like 230 pounds. He looked like Tarzan. He was like, man, I hate the cold, man, but I love my whoopee.
Hey, I feel that. Those whoopies are comfortable.
They're great. Do you have?
Yeah, so I took a couple when I worked there.
Like Devin did, trying to do from the ring.
Oh, I shouldn't say took them.
Yeah,
I mean, we got them. There were seconds.
Right,
We strategically transferred equipment to alternate locations.
That's the Marine Corps version for steal.
What?
Yeah, that's what that means.
That sounds...
You stole.
But yeah, we my kids are still involved in scouting and stuff, so we take them out for scouting events. And
they're super light, and you can pack them in anything. You can stuff them in a ruck, and nothing. I mean, they don't weigh anything. They're nothing.
Need to change.
Yeah,
and it's part of the poncho liner system because ideally you also have a poncho.
Yeah,
and then the strings tie into the poncho. That's how it lines.
Yes, the ponchos all have these little eye holes that you've seen on any tarp. In case anybody out there listening,
I have literally never seen anybody tie a whoopee to a poncho.
Well, Paul says that he has.
I'm sure he has. He just did it because somebody told him to one time, though. They were like, "Hey, Marine, tie that whoopee to that poncho liner."
Oh my gosh! If anybody out there is still looking for a last-minute Christmas gift for me,
you want a whoopee?
I would like a poncho liner.
We said this during.
May technically be called a whoopee on the internet.
I'm not sure where you get a poncho liner, but I know where you can get a whoopee.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2020, IFB Solutions, they were able to purchase an established Amazon business called Pinnacle Mercantile. So. They sell a lot of their products through that. That was another way that they could get not only the whoopee on Amazon. You can search Pinnacle Mercantile Whoopee.
Yep.
WOOBIE. You can buy those, make great Christmas gifts.
Hey, I got a thing. If you're out there listening right now, or if you're on Facebook, if you'll get your whoopee out, if you own one, get your whoopee out, get a picture of you with your whoopee, tag WSIC in it.
Do it.
And put it on Instagram.
That's right.
That'd be great. Yeah, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, and we'll see who got the most creative whoopee picture.
Put it in
what
a
about tag
Purple
Heart Homes in that as well?
Well, tag Purple Heart Homes too. Yeah,
PHH.
tag everybody.
Yeah,
tag us all.
Me, Ben Daniels.
Hey, tag Ben Daniels.
IFB Solutions.
IFB Solutions.
Absolutely.
Amazon,
hey,
Pinnacle.
We're going to hear more about who we're going to tag after we come back from these
the world's
messages.
first show just on the whoopee. We'll be back in a few minutes.
There's more Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on the way from the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
All right, cool.
You want to take the call now?
No. Let's wait. You think they can? Let's take it now and see if they can hold it after the break. Oh, we lost them. Oh, that's so disheartening. We had
Prank
a call.
calls, man.
Yes, crank
calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-
Did you used to do crank calls? Have you ever done crank calls? Crank phone
Man, I
calls?
can't be giving all my stuff.
You can't do them anymore. You know why?
Why?
Because they know who you are.
You
When
can
go-
block-
they,
Oh yeah, they know his voice.
they know your phone
You can-
number.
You
I
can-
know some people, bro. I can still make a prank call. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I was so glad that we found Ben wandering around the studios.
I
'cause
know.
You wanted me to think of stories that I could tell, and I was thinking, what stories can I tell from my time in the Marine Corps that are FCC friendly?
No, that's true. There's none. Well, I want to
I
tell
came
you.
up with
this-
like 3, but
well, this is the first
short
show that has ever been done in the history of the world, the first live radio program that was ever done just on the whoopee.
you know what?
The,
That
an
may be
entire
true.
show. If somebody told you prior to doing this, somebody say, "Hey, I got an idea for a radio show. We're going to do a whole 1-hour radio show on the whoopee."
This sounds like an episode of the Seinfeld.
It does. It's very Seinfeldish.
Hey, I mean,
Very
it
Seinfeldish.
feels warm and cuddly to me. I
It
don't know.
does. It does feel very warm and cuddly. I wish I would have brought mine. I looked at mine this morning. I saw it this morning. I should have brought it in.
You had no idea what the day
No idea.
had in store for
It was
you.
such a blessing.
And that's why you should always take your wood.
Yeah, never leave home without
Your
it.
whoopee.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
that is fantastic.
Did Larry David write this this episode
Um,
of putting the
he-
pieces back together?
He's over in Rocky Lynn's studio.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to put him in the credits.
That's right.
Yeah, it's,
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry. That's fantastic.
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of viewers right here on.
Yeah, we're like 8.
Social.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it was up to like 17 earlier.
Yeah.
Was it really? We were at 17. Well, we ran them off.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they saw me.
Tends to happen.
It does tend to happen. You need to talk more. When it seems like when you talk, more people listen.
1 minute.
I don't
You're like
think
E.F.
that's-
Hutton
I don't think that's true.
when Tammy says something.
What are we talking about now?
Do you
more
have a-
Whoopi.
More
Do you have a project to talk
Oh, we do. Yeah, we got a project of the week.
Devin hasn't been
I
there
have
this
not
week.
been there. I have been absent.
You have been
due
absent.
to family matters. For any of those of you who are listening out there.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk. We'll come back and we'll talk about military makeover coming to Statesville
Oh, yeah,
because
we
that's a
could-
local story
we
and that's a
could.
big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we'll weave
we-
the Whoopie back in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think that. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, all right, we can do that. That sounds good. We're down to 7 on Facebook. What?
You can talk about that.
All right.
Oh, wait. Are we allowed to talk about that now? We might have to
Will you pull
scrub
up
this
the
part
Amazon
from the
listing?
Facebook Live episode later.
I think everybody kind of knows that.
Mics going off. Mics are going off.
No?
It's Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes, a 501c3 dedicated to helping the service members
All of them.
with their housing needs. Veterans.
The service members. Yes.
Honestly, I was thinking about 2 different things
Yeah.
at once,
You
and
were binary right there for
I
a
was
second, weren't you?
totally gone. Like I was not even listening to what I'm always telling folks that I'm even surprised about what comes out of my mouth.
Hey, we've
Hey,
got a
we've got
caller
a-
on the line.
Yeah, let's
Hey,
see. Let's
this
see
is
who
the
this
best
is.
show we've had in a long time.
Sorry, John.
Hey, caller, welcome to Putting Pieces Back Together. What you got for us?
I never know what's going to come out of my mouth, but it seems to me that a whoopee is fabric where you want it on your body, and a wedgie is fabric where you don't want it on your body.
I'm going to write that down.
But thank you for the explanation, and I'm really happy to hear that there's this great organization that's making it possible for people with a possible disability, because anymore sometimes you're more able when you're disabled because you got support. So I'm just happy to hear about the organization that makes those. But anyway, thanks for all the laughter and all the things you do for our country, guys.
That's
appreciate
awesome.
you calling.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So that was an incredible call. A whoopee is something, a material that you want on your body, and a wedgie
It's not.
is not.
Oh my gosh!
It
Yeah.
is
Well,
true.
there are some masochists out
It would be
there.
it would be terrible if you had a wedgie with a whoopee.
Oh.
Right? That would be
It's a
bad.
big wedgie.
Yeah, that's a big wedgie. It'd be yes, it would be. You know, they have whoopee jackets now.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
They're not made. They're not. Let me disclaimer. Not made by IFB Solutions, but yes,
Okay.
they do, and some of them are, quite frankly, really awesome.
Quite frankly, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Gallina, he's the owner of one.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah,
I did not.
it's a
know.
black
Does
one.
he call it a poncho liner?
No, he's just not
Poncho jacket?
a poncho liner jacket. No one calls it that. It's called when you buy it. When you buy it online, they call it a whoopee
Well,
jacket.
I've never bought one online, as they were the only one I've ever owned was issued to me. Well, I say the only one that I've ever owned. I've owned multiples because I went to Saigon Sam's, and if y'all don't know what Saigon Sam's is,
Why don't you tell us?
It is essentially a pawn shop for right outside of the Marine Corps gates of Camp Lejeune.
Okay.
And for all of those Marines that are missing their gear, they will go there to Saigon Sam's.
Oh, and buy things that other Marines have pawned there.
Buy things that other Marines have probably stolen from them.
Right, and pawned.
And they're
Exactly.
buying that. It's like,
I like
when
the
you
business model.
Yeah. when you answer an ad for buying a bike online and it turns out to be your bike.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Hey, this looks familiar.
Tammy and I went to, I don't know if anybody's ever been to Delk's Army Navy store or the Delk's Surplus store. I have not. It is on Highway 64 between Asheboro and Lexington. It is the world's largest Army surplus store. I'm just going to call it that. It's a world record, right?
Okay.
It is massive. It's acres of, it's like a Walmart of Army surplus. And they have everything in there. They've got, but it smells bad in there. It smells like musty. Yes.
I know that smell.
I mean, but it's not really bad. It's just, I walk in, I get PTSD.
Is it like you're
I walk
inside of your own sea bag?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like that. Or it's like you're in a military facility getting clothing. That smell
Yeah.
that you can't get out, and you've been standing in line for days.
That's because they take those wet poncho liners and
That's right.
and
That's
they
right.
just reissue them. They've got the mildew. You can never get that mildew
Can't
smell
get it out.
of
Well, you can get whatever you want. If you want camouflage or any kind of uniform from World War I, World War II. I mean, they got everything. Wool. You can get poncho liners. You can get old rucksacks. They've got.
I'm sorry. What'd you just call that?
Poncho liners.
You poncho
Whoopies.
liners. Yeah.
Rucksacks.
We
You're
just
a
converted
Marine.
him. As I
You're
was
a
just
Marine, you can get a poncho
Yeah,
liner.
there's a Jeep in there. There's a literal Willis Jeep in the store. And then I sent a picture of somebody, and they were like, "Is that for sale?" And I'm like, "Everything is for sale."
Where is this place located?
On Highway 64, between Lexington, North Carolina, and Asheboro, North Carolina.
That's not that far away.
It's
Oh, it's
like
not.
1
Why have
hour
I
and
not
3
gone
minutes
here?
from here. My mom used to take. I've been going there since I was like 5.
Oh my gosh!
My
I'm gonna
mom
have
used to
take a
drag us
trip.
over there. Yeah, it's a fantastic place. They've got old helicopters in the back. You can buy an old generator. They even you can purchase an official Army Porta-John.
Mm-hmm.
There's one
Why would you
sitting out
want to
front.
do that?
I don't know, but it's for sale. They have every
People
single
buy
thing.
I was
anything.
gonna make a joke, but the FCC would get mad at me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we've already been fined
Folks,
like 3
just,
times.
Just listen. No, I mean, just use your imagination for what
I
that
will.
joke was.
I will. So if you're out there and you're going to, if you're heading over towards Asheboro, maybe you're going to the zoo, right? Maybe go to the zoo, stop in at Delk's Army Navy Surplus and look at some stuff.
Are they an official sponsor? Are we giving them?
Official sponsor of Putting the Pieces Back Together. Delk's Army Navy Store.
We'll send it to them.
That's right.
We'll collect.
I bet they want to.
So it's really cool. So when you're checking out, we bought. We bought a tray that you would get at a chow hall. You know how where it separates your food out, right? Because we got it for our daughter because she doesn't like her food to touch. You know, anybody
Come
like
on,
that?
honey, we're going to
Yeah,
Dick's to get you some
we-
plates.
We bought her a tray that you would get like at basic training where you would just take the tray and stick it
ma'am.
up. Yeah. You want some more? Yeah. Get you some SOS. Yeah. Plop. Yeah. But at the checkout, when you go and getting ready to exit, right by the door, there's a picture of a dude next to this mosaic of Saddam Hussein from Iraq, right? And I saw the picture and I was like, I have my picture beside that particular mosaic, right?
Wait, really?
There were hundreds of these things all over Iraq. I don't know if you ever saw them, but Saddam would memorialize himself in statues and paintings and stuff. But this one particular one is Saddam. His eyes are crossed, and he's holding up a cup of chai. Right?
Are you serious?
Hello, I'm your friend, and I'm cross-eyed, and I've got a cup of chai,
me,
right? You can trust me. But there's a guy, there's an army dude in a boonie hat, and he's got a coffee cup, when he's having coffee with giant Saddam, and it says, Delk's Army Surplus on the coffee cup. And he took a picture, printed it off, and sent it back to him when he was
that's
over
amazing.
there. It is fantastic. So, but yeah, it's a really unique place. I mean, you can buy anything in there. You can buy awards. Like, let's say you're just into stolen valor, right? You want to just dress.
Brad, I think we should just start this stop this conversation right there.
I'm taking notes.
You're not trying to help people have stolen valor, are you?
This is what they do.
Mostly because I like that spot at Lowe's, but you know.
I've got a great story about that, right? I know we're completely off track, but when I was doing my officer basic course and we were about ready to finish up, and Tammy had to come down to Fort Jackson and do an officer's wives course, right? So where you had to learn
be an officer's wife.
Yeah, how to be an officer's wife. It was a protocol, right? And so there was this one other young wife that was in there, and they were going through all of the things that happen on a military installation, because there's things that happen there that don't happen anywhere else in the world.
Oh, that's true.
Right? And so when you go to the PX, there's segmented parking, and there's parking for the base commander, command sergeant major, Medal of Honor recipient, right? And then there's one that says general officer parking, right? So for generals, right? Well, this lady had parked in that spot because
general parking.
Yeah, well, she said, well, my husband's an officer, and he's generally an officer, so she just parked in the general spot, right? Yeah, at the
don't
PX.
Do
Like, yeah, and they were like, no, don't do that again. Yeah, you'll get in trouble. She had a whoopee in the back.
She had a whoopee.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
She showed the general that she had her whoopee and everything was good.
Oh, my.
So.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, but I've got my whoopee, I swear. So we're going to weigh on this. We're coming up on a couple minutes before the end of the show. And the great debate of the century. I mean, we're doing meaningful things here on putting the pieces back together.
It's not really a debate, because when it comes to what the Army and the Marines say, the Marines always win.
Is it whatever? Is it a poncho liner or is it a whoopee? You weigh in. The debate continues on. We'll do a poll somewhere, some way, some shape or form. And we'll find out who wins.
And tag us in whatever social media that you're on. WSIC and PHH, Purple Heart Homes.
I'm going to tag you on MySpace, because that's where I do all my time
do you? You somehow, I believe that. You're Is your
my
friend
MySpace
Tom?
Page, yeah. My MySpace page, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Second Life. Yeah.
What is Second Life?
Yeah, you don't watch The Office.
Oh, I do watch The Office.
I'm roasted. That's the only one I don't watch it either.
Hey, Ben, thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely.
It's been super fun,
I'm
man.
sorry if this was a terrible waste of your time today.
I'm still waiting to use the restroom.
I brought you a cup. Hey, and thank you to all the audience out there. You guys have been great for sticking with us this long.
Yes, if they have.
If you have.
If you're still listening, thank you for sticking with us. We
and
really
if
appreciate
you
it.
missed any part of the show, you can catch it on Facebook, social media,
All of those
YouTube,
things.
all those things.
We'll be back next week. It's going to be awesome. You're listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together on WSIC News Talk Now.
$18.
Oh, yeah.
You've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together, brought to you by Purple Heart Homes. Please consider making a donation to this worthwhile cause dedicated to improving the lives of veterans one home at a time by visiting purplehearthomesusa.org. Join us again next Thursday at 3 p.m. for Putting the Pieces Back Together on WSIC News Talk Now.
The new 1059 100.7